Buenos días. Es el viernes y son las 12. Hello, everyone. It's Friday and it's 12 o'clock, so it's time for our last community Spanish of this week, number 3 of 3, broadcasting live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12. And in addition, we also have community French going on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 8:30. In addition to our children's programming, both children's French and children's Spanish. Spanish happening in Monday through Thursday mornings at 11:30, and French happening in the evenings, Monday through Wednesday at 8 p.m. for a bedtime story. So that's what we have going on. And as I also have announced earlier this week, we have the new edition of Community Mandarin starting this week officially. So feel free to tune into those on Mondays and Thursdays at 12:30 if you have maybe a short lunch break, you can tune in and learn some Mandarin with our new teacher, Sandra. So please feel free to check those out. And if that kind of piques your interest, you're also welcome to get to our website, rololanguages.com, where you can see the Mandarin classes we have coming up. So maybe it's just if you watch a few videos and you realize you have more of an interest and you want to study it a little bit more actively, you're welcome to check out our upcoming class schedules there. Which of course we also have all of our other languages posted there as well. So if you're looking for a Spanish class, a French class, a Portuguese class, an Italian class, or Mandarin class, we have all of our schedules posted up for October up on our website now. So feel free to check that out. Without further ado, let's get into our topic for today, which is we're going to be looking at the concept of time in Spanish. And so this can be a little bit tricky for many of you who are native English speakers about how to express time in Spanish, because Spanish is a little bit more precise about the words they use, about what kind of time we're describing. So I wanted to take a few minutes to go over some of the differences and hopefully iron out any confusion there might be about what word you have. And then we're going to do a little bit of practice together. So let's get into it. So we have, we're going to be looking at 5 different expressions actually for time in Spanish. So, and this kind of layout on the page is coming from Mary Ellen Page. So I want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. So she kind of put out a nice little summary, which I want to go over in detail with my own information as well, about the different ways to express time in Spanish. So again, in English, we have kind of one word that we're going to use to express time. The word time, but in Spanish we have different words depending on what type of time we're describing. So for example, the first one we can see here is hora, okay, hora. And if you want, you can repeat these words after me to make sure we're pronouncing them right. Hora. So this is, as you know, the H is a silent letter, so we shouldn't pronounce it. So hora we use to describe 2 different things. One of them is explicitly the word for hour, like when you're counting hours on a clock. We use hora for that. But we also use hora to describe time in general in terms of like telling the time on a watch or a clock. So that's the way that we would use the word hora. So if we're asking like, what is the time? For example, ¿qué hora es? That's the way we use hora to express the time, again, with the specific kind of clock time. Or if we're asking like, how long did something take you? And your answer maybe be like 2 horas. Then we're using hours as in that unit of 60-minute time. So hora is the first way we can use to express time in Spanish. All right, so the next word we have after hora is vez. So por favor, repite después de mí, vez. Vez. So making sure when we have that zeta, but we're still going to make a soft S sound, not a hard Z sound. So it's not vez, but vez, okay? Or if you're speaking with a Spanish accent, it'd be vez, with a TH sound representing that zeta. And then also when we make this plural, remember that zeta is going to change to a se. So this in the singular and veces in the plural. So this means time as well in English, but in Spanish, the way we're using it to distinguish this type of time, we mean like a certain instance or a certain occurrence of something that's happening. So for example, if we were speaking about like how many times we've been to a certain place, how many like recurrences of our appearance there, we're going to use this to describe that. So for example, I've been to this restaurant 6 times, then we can say 6 veces. So we don't say 6 tiempos or 6 horas. We would use 6 veces to describe the number of instances you've been at this particular place. And so we can also use this in the sense of, as it says, an event, in the sense of like when someone says, do you remember that time that we did this? Then that's that kind of this is used in that meaning as well. So again, that specific occurrence or that instance. So that's how we would use the word this to represent time in Spanish. So far we have hora and we have this. Now the next word we have here on our list is rato. Rato is best described as what I would call a while in Spanish, the best equivalent translation of the word while, a while in Spanish. And so you can use, just like in English, you can modify it to say like a little while or a long while. We can use this expression rato to express while. And then if we want to maybe give a kind of emphasize exactly how long of a while it was, we can say like un buen rato is a good, very common way people will say like a long while, like a good while, un buen rato, okay? Or un largo rato would be like a long while. So we can add other words onto the word rato to express how long something is occurring for. But in general, rato is a while, how we would say a while in Spanish, which is another expression of a period of time. So that's why we include it in our time words. So that's rato. Next one we have is the word tiempo. So tiempo is the one that their kind of go-to word to express time in Spanish. And it does mean time, but we have to be a little bit more precise as we're learning here about exactly when we use it. So time, tiempo, the word tiempo means time usually in more of an abstract kind of way. So for example, like I never have enough time to finish my homework. This is how we use the word tiempo in the sense of abstract time, like a period of time. And it's usually something that we can't precisely measure when we use a word like tiempo. Now, another way that tiempo can sometimes cause a little bit of confusion is because tiempo also is the word we might use to describe the weather. So that's another kind of layer to it. But for now, we're just going to focus on its use as meaning time. So that's tiempo. Okay, again, this is the more abstract idea about time. Okay, now we have one more key word we're going to use here to describe time. So we have the word época. So let's repeat that. Por favor, repite después de mí. Época. Época. So this one is also time, but in the sense of like a specific period of time. Again, usually it's some kind of like, we might express this also as an age in English. So it'd be like the modern age or the medieval age. We would use the word like época to describe this, as I say, it's like a historical period. So, or maybe a particular season, not necessarily like season like fall, winter, spring, but like the season, like the duration for which something was relevant or popular. So that's how we would use the word época, but we use it mostly to describe a certain period of time. And again, it could be defined because it's a specific historical period and that historical period has a name, or you could also you can also use it to describe like that period of time in your life. So like en esta época, like in this time, or en aquella época, in that time, like that time long ago. So we're talking about this period of time in your life. So that's how we would use the word época. So these are the kind of 5 words that we use most to encompass almost all translations of the word time in English. So vamos a repetir una vez más. We're going to repeat these words one more time, and then we're going to practice them in context to choose which is the right word to go into the sentence. So por favor, repite después de mí. We have hora. Hora. Then we have vez. Vez. Next we have rato. Rato. Then tiempo. Tiempo. And finally we have época. Época. So those are the 5 different time words we're going to be using to try the exercise below. And so we're going to do the first, we're actually going to do the first 10 questions, but in this particular exercise, they also include a little bit of verb practice. So I'm actually going to skip the one that we have in the first 10 that involves a verb, just because we're focusing our attention on using the words for time. But we're going to do 10 questions altogether to practice. So, por favor, escribe tus respuestas en los comentarios abajo. So please write your responses in the comments below as we go through this exercise and see if you can choose the right word to express the kind of time that this question shows. So vamos a comenzar con número 1. So we're starting with number 1. ¿Cuántas, and we have our blank, a la semana tienes la clase de español? So remember, for this one we're considering, we can use either tiempo, vez, hora, rato, or época. So think about what makes sense in the context of this question, and let's see what we can put. And again, please feel free to write your answers in the comments below so we can see if you're choosing the right the right answer. So, ¿cuántas blank a la semana tienes la clase de español? So, what do you think? Which word representing time makes the most sense here? Okay, so we have one suggestion. ¿Cuántas horas a la semana tienes la clase de español? And actually, this one would work. I think they're looking for a different answer, actually, but this answer could work, actually. If we were going to say, like, how many hours are you doing Spanish class per week? But there's another possibility we can use, and that's veces. Like saying, how many times a week do you have Spanish class? So I think this is actually the kind of primary answer they're looking for. But horas would also work here too, actually. So there's more than one answer. Okay, so, but número uno, veces. Número dos, we have cuánto blank dura el viaje de España a México. Okay, cuánto blank dura el viaje de España a México. So again, we're choosing between tiempo, vez, hora, rato, and época. So what do you think makes the most sense for the context of this question? ¿Cuánto? And then also another clue we can use here is we see that we have cuánto and it's masculine singular, so that also help you maybe guide about which word you want to use. In this case, it's tiempo. So, ¿cuánto tiempo dura el viaje de España a México? How much time does the trip take from Spain to Mexico? So this is again the abstract idea of time. ¿Cuánto tiempo? Sí. ¿Cuánto tiempo? How much time? Número 3. ¿A qué blank es la fiesta el sábado? ¿A qué blank es la fiesta el sábado? So this one, what are we looking for? When we're talking about la fiesta el sábado, so we've kind of pinpointed a specific thing in time, okay, a specific instance. So this one we want to know, ¿a qué hora? ¿A qué hora es la fiesta el sábado? What time is the party on Saturday? ¿A qué hora? Muy bien. Número 4. Mario estuvo aquí un blank antes de ir al teatro, excuse me, al teatro. Mario estuvo aquí en un blanco antes de ir al teatro. So which one fits best into this blank for número 4? Between hora, vez, rato, tiempo, and época. And again, we can use the clue of un to help guide us towards the right answer. Okay, número 4. So Mario estuvo aquí un rato antes de ir al teatro. So Mario was here for a while before going to the theater. So this one we'll use rato. And again, the word un is going to help you guess that rato is the best thing because rato is masculine singular. And often when we say a while, we would use a word like un. Okay, número 5. En la blank colonial, muchos españoles vinieron al Nuevo Mundo. So, en la colonial, muchos españoles vinieron al Nuevo Mundo. So you think about this when we're mentioning of the something colonial and the mention of Nuevo Mundo. Okay, so we're locating ourselves in history. Okay, so as we learned with the historical period, and also again we have another supporting clue here because it says en la, so we know we're looking for something that's feminine. So for this one, for número 5, it's época. En la época colonial, muchos españoles vinieron al Nuevo Mundo. So in the colonial era, colonial time, colonial period, many Spanish people came to the New World. Okay, muy bien. Número 6. Mis primos visitaron San Agustín, 5 blank, antes de comprar una casa. Okay, mis primos visitaron San Agustín, 5 blank, antes de comprar una casa. In this case, the 5 that comes before our blank is going to be a good help for us to figure out what we're going to put here. Because if it's 5, it means it has to be something that we can count, okay, something we can put in plural. So we think about this one. Muy bien, es veces. Mis primos visitaron San Agustín 5 veces antes de comprar una casa. So my cousins visited St. Augustine 5 times before buying a house. So this should be veces in the sense of instances or occurrences. Muy bien. Okay, número 7. Nos encontramos en el restaurante y charlamos un blank. Okay, this one is very similar to the one we saw before in número 4. Okay, so nos encontramos en el restaurante y charlamos un. Again, this is our keyword here to knowing that it should be rato. Okay, so we met in the restaurant and we talked for a while or a little while. So un rato works very well in número 7. Okay, número 8. Número 8 is the one we're going to skip because it's the one that uses one of the verbs. And again, we're trying to focus our attention here on just these nouns of time. So we're going to skip número 8 and go to número 9. So, mi madre vivió en la blank de la Gran Depresión. Mi madre vivió en la blank de la Gran Depresión. Okay, so we see here Gran Depresión, the Great Depression. So we've located ourselves in a specific historical moment. So we know with the historical time periods, we're going to use the word época. And again, we have the word la there ahead to help give us another clue that we should use época because la indicates a feminine word and época is a feminine word. So that's another confirmation that's the right word we should use. So, mi madre vivió en la época de la Gran Depresión. My mother lived in the time, the historical period of the Great Depression. Okay, dos más. We have 2 more to go. Número 10. Ellos pasaron 4 blank en el Museo Antropológico. Ellos pasaron 4 blank en el Museo Antropológico. So again, we have here another one where we have 4 before the blank, so we know that we have to choose something that can be made plural because we've mentioned there's 4, so we know have to be able to put more than 1. So we think about the things that we can pluralize between, we have hora, vez, tiempo, época, and rato. So the things that we're most likely going to be pluralizing are either hora, like hours, or veces, or like as in the number of occurrences. So in this case, based on the context, we are going to go with horas. Muy bien. So horas is 4 hours. So they spent 4 hours in the Anthropology Museum. Okay, excelente. Last one, número 11. Yo iba a la playa muchas blank cuando era joven. Yo iba a la playa muchas blank cuando era joven. Okay, so we're looking for something, again, that we can make plural because we have the word muchas before the blank. And also muchas gives another clue because it's muchas, so we know it's feminine. We're looking to describe something feminine that can be plural. So looking at this context, yo iba, I used to go, a la playa muchas blank cuando era joven. The thing that makes the most sense here is going to be veces. So yo iba a la playa muchas veces cuando era joven. I used to go to the beach many times when I was young. Okay, muy bien. So we're going to stop there for today on this exercise. I hope you found it helpful to look at the different words for time, for tiempo, tiempo, hora, vez, época, rato, we can use in Spanish. So feel free to review the video and do the exercise again if you need kind of extra support to practice with these. It's really just using these words in context that will give you the best practice about when to use the right word. Okay, so I will be posting the video up on our website in addition to some extra resources, so please feel free to check that out. Check out the class schedules on the website, as I mentioned at the start of the video. I'll next be back on Monday at 12 for the first Community Spanish of next week. Gracias y adiós.